Hi guys, it's Sharon here from Butterfly Lullaby and it's the 29th of January 2021. I've just opened up a new Facebook group called Dyslexia Gift Reading Support. The reason I've done this is because I was taught ITA English Twaddle in school back in the 70s. It's an alien backward language that made no sense at all, and sadly this is still being taught in the USA and overseas. But also, my daughter went through hell in school. There were some great teachers, but the bad teachers absolutely destroyed her confidence. So I want to be part as a team player to help build our children's confidence back up and help them to love reading and writing, as I did with my own daughter, Melody Angel. She loves books now, thanks to me, not state education. She collects books, she's a fantastic creative writer, and I'm going to share some information here just to show you our little journey. It seems like life is some sort of competition when it comes to academics, and as a dyslexic I like to take things slowly and enjoy life. So when my daughter was born, when I had people saying to me, isn't she crawling yet? No, Melody's rolling, and actually rolling is faster than crawling. She rolled and then she walked. She never crawled. And that's part of her amazing dyslexic mind. She knew she could get around the room quicker by rolling. And that's what I love about dyslexia, that we're different, and it's good to be different, and we need to embrace that. Forget about the things we can't do and really concentrate on the things that we can do, because we can make a massive impact and change in this world where things are going wrong. Like take all the pesticides, for example. Now the academics think it's a good idea to kill off all the bees, destroy our food supply, and just make Monsanto rich. If you've got some sort of IQ there, you're going to think, hang on a minute, that seems a bit bonkers. So, that's what we need to change. And I think dyslexics can help change that. But also, don't forget Thomas Edison was dyslexic, and his mother ended up home educating because the school system let him down. And they also said he was unteachable, but she didn't tell him that. She praised him, and he became the most amazing inventor of all time because he created light. So this is what you need to show your children, all the good stuff about dyslexia, and make sure you get good books, because the academic books are boring. They're so boring that when I was actually reading these books, these school books to my daughter, I was falling asleep. So I was thinking, how can my daughter concentrate on this and enjoy reading if these books are so awful? So, you need to go to the library, get these beautiful illustrated coloured books, sing the stories with your child, write down the words that they cannot read, get them to spell those words out 3 times, and your child will start reading and writing before you know it. I promise you, because this is what I did with my daughter. I encouraged my daughter to write letters, and she wrote to Rachel Rennie Russell and told her about school bullying and how her books helped change her life and helped her to love reading. Because the thing with Rachel Rennie Russell, she didn't just write a book with all text. She put in some fantastic fun illustrations, and also the story was about bullying. So Melody could relate to the story because the character in the story was being bullied. She actually thought, she's in the same sort of situation as me, but it's something different there. But she's not having a nice time in school. And the funny thing is about the Dork Diaries books is that Rachel, the author's daughter, was bullied in school, and she had a terrible time in school. So she based these stories on what a child went through. I think that's lovely, because a lot of children can pick up these books and think, I went through that, I can relate to that. And they get interested in reading because they're going through the same sort of situation. And that's where we need to engage children with these sort of stories. I'm very lucky because I've got a council in Wales that actually cares about children and families, and they support them. Councillor Kevin Griffiths, from day one, has supported our Melody and home education. he used to, because I used to post all my daughter's drawings, what I still do, on Facebook, and he used to print them off and post them through our letterbox. What a lovely, kind man. You know, I wish we had more people in government service like Kevin Griffiths, Councillor Kevin Griffiths, because, you know, he's got a kind heart. He's got lots of empathy and compassion for people. I think that's what's missing in government today. There isn't enough of that kindness, and we need a kindness qualification. I was talking to London Mums magazine about this, and she believes that too, for teachers and governments to take to prove that they're kind people and deserve to be in that place, because Kevin Griffiths deserves a medal, because he is the amazing role model that we need in this country and overseas. So, so this is really exciting stuff. And I'm also liaising about getting a certificate of achievement issued out to dyslexic children and adults. This is me in my 20s. I said, I'm going to catch a shark. Yes, it was a 3-foot shark, but I caught one. When I'm determined to do something, I do it. It's like when my mother got turned down for disability allowance. I said, no, I'm not having that, Mum. You've been sick your whole life. I'm going to get that for you. And I did. I wrote a stinking letter and I got the disability allowance that she deserved. So my point is that you don't have to settle. You can change things. And, you know, it's possible. And if we team up together, we can make great changes in our school system for our children to make it a better school system that actually helps them and doesn't make them feel worthless and stupid. So I want to hear your stories. Please come over to, you know, Facebook group, Dyslexia Gift Reading Support, and share your stories, because by sharing your stories, you help change a child's life, because they can relate to that child and say, well, actually, I went through that, and that's not very nice, and I'm glad I'm not the only person that went through that. And, you know, the more stories we get out there, the better change we can create within our system. Okay, so here's my free reading support for children. I just want you to remember, you as a parent have the ability to help your child to love reading like I did. So do not underestimate your ability to make a difference for your child. And let's think about it. Now, when you go to school, well, your child goes to school, what are you made to do as a parent? You are made to read with your child. The difference is you're given the wrong skill sets. You're given the wrong books, for one thing. These books are created for children with different brains. They are not. They are eye readers. So they find it easy to pick up a book and read. They've got, what they call it, a sponge-like memory. With dyslexics, they are visual, audio, problem-solving people. So you need to use different skills to help that child to read, not the system that's in the education system at the moment. I was talking to my daughter about, you know, SENCO, which is meant to be a disability or dyslexic support group in the UK. And I said, so what do they do with you when you were taken out of class? This is when I had to really, really push to get support, because the teachers did not pick up on her dyslexia. My daughter was copying. She was frightened of getting in trouble if she got anything wrong. She could hardly read, write or spell, and it just was just not observed. Nobody took any notice, and it was only because of me that I went in there and I said, well, you know, and she's coming out into the playground with these books, and I think parents can relate to me with this. You know, why are teachers not putting the reading books in an envelope? Because these books show what level your child is on. Now that's wrong. It's discrimination. And in the playground, there's these, of course, the academic mums, they like to call themselves. that will actually say, oh, well, look, my child's on this book, and they want to really go for, being the top, because it's what it is. It's a horse race, right? Your child has to be at the top of the class with reading because they want to feel fantastic and good, which is great. It's wonderful. But they're not actually thinking about the children that are struggling. They're not thinking about how awful they feel, and they're obviously not in the right school because they shouldn't be feeling like that in the first place. They should be allowed to read at their own pace, because Dyslexic minds take longer to absorb information, longer to learn, especially with English, because it's like an alien language to them. They need a different type of schooling system, basically, really, and different teachers. They need teachers that have empathy, compassion, and what's the word I'm looking for? Patience. They need to be patient, and I find that with some academic teachers, they lack this patience, and that's what the big problem is. Don't get me wrong, we had some lovely teachers in our school, and they had pets in the class, and one teacher encouraged my daughter to read whatever she wanted to read as long as she was reading. But some teachers were sticklers. They had to go through the book system. You've got to read that book to that book. And one teacher said to me, she said to my daughter, you can't read a big book. Fancy saying that to a child. You cannot read a big book. You've got to read these little ones. And my daughter said, no, Mum, I can read a big book. And we proved by home educating that yes, my daughter not only can read a big book, but she collects books. She loves reading. She reads every day. She writes down all the words she cannot understand the meaning to, or she can't pronounce, and she learns that word, and she writes it down 3 times and tries to learn that word. Even though that word might go out of her head, she's got a record of all the words that she struggled with, and she's reading big books. She's reading classics, and she's collecting these classics, and she's buying these books for a birthday, for a Christmas present. Imagine that. I never did that. I would never, ever dream of wanting a book for my birthday or Christmas. That'd be the worst thing ever. But the good thing for me is that I love writing. I don't care about the spelling, please, because at the end of the day, I was taught ITA English twaddle, so that was the worst education possible, which just proves to me that academics get things very, very wrong, and they can't pick on me for that, because my English is better than when I left school, and my daughter's English is better than mine when I left school. So you see, parents, we have superpowers to help our children to read. So what are you waiting for? Come over to Facebook and share your stories, and let's stop this academic bullying on our children and make some changes, and stop, this anxiety in children, and make education a more fun, wonderful place to be. So that's all from me today, Sharon J. Bainbridge, and I really hope to connect with you and change the system to be better. And I'm also working on some really exciting projects to make reading fun for dyslexic children, and I know it's going to work. So if you want to work with me, come on down and talk to me, because I love talking to people and I love hearing your stories. Okay, so have a great, great week. I know I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.